City police, you're under arrest. Don't fight me. Don't fight me. Don't fight me.
DeRay McKesson is live on Periscope when he captures his own arrest.
The Supreme Court effectively abolishes the right to mass protest in 3 U.S. states. The Supreme Court announced on Monday that it would not hear the lawsuit McKesson versus Doe. The decision not to hear McKesson leaves in place a lower court decision that effectively eliminated the right to organize a mass protest in the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. So if you're in one of those 3 states, it is now basically illegal to organize a large protest. And they don't say that because they know that would be illegal for them to do under the Constitution. So instead, they just say, if you organize a mass protest, you are legally responsible for every single person there and every counter protester there. Basically, any human being who shows up. So if you are at an anti-racism protest and the Klan shows up and throws things and breaks windows, you, the organizer of the anti-racism protest, are legally responsible for those Klan members. It is so idiotic and insane, but that is how this sick country works. Under the lower court decision, a protest organizer faces potentially ruinous financial consequences if a single attendee at a mass protest commits an illegal act. This, by design, makes it so that any of these movements could be so easily infiltrated, like just aggressively infiltrated. All you have to do, if there's, let's say there's a protest against Israel committing genocide, and you were pro-genocide because you're pro-Israel. All you have to do is show up, pretend to be pro-Palestine, pretend to be anti-genocide, and then start breaking windows and setting fire to things. Well, now the organizer of the anti-genocide pro-Palestine march is responsible for you. So it basically says infiltrators come one, come all, and just break shit, and you can ruin the life of whoever's involved with these protests. The article goes on to mention, and for those of you who are in those 3 states and worried about it, it goes on to mention that this outcome could be temporary. The court did not embrace the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit's decision attacking the First Amendment right to protest, but it did not reverse it either. That means that, at least for now, the Fifth Circuit's decision is the law in much of the American South. And so this is what Justice Sotomayor said in her brief opinion about not hearing the McKesson versus Doe. He said, the court recently reaffirmed the strong First Amendment protections enjoyed by people like McKesson in Counterman versus Colorado. The decision held that the First Amendment precludes punishment for inciting violent action, quote, unless the speaker's words were intended, not just likely, to produce imminent disorder. Basically, she's saying, well, we did talk about it in the past, so we're not going to deal with this, but it doesn't mean that they couldn't do exactly what I just said, which is basically find a protester that broke something and then sue the organizer of the protest for $1 million because someone broke a window. Or in the case that was actually that Supreme Court denied, McKesson versus Doe, a protester threw a rock at a cop, which for some odd reason, when you are the brutal fist of the fascist state, sometimes that happens. Not sure why. Anyway, the cop claims that the rock then destroyed his teeth, jaw, brain, and head. Which seems like it might be overstated. He said he had injuries to his teeth, jaw, brain, and head, which in your brain, in your head. And let's be honest, a cop's brain, was there much going on there to begin with? I mean, really, can really damage that. Need I remind you, the Supreme Court upheld, or maybe refused to hear, but whatever, the ability of police departments to not hire someone because they're too smart. Basically, police departments across the nation are allowed to give you an IQ test. If you prove to be smart, they are allowed to not hire you because they don't want any smarties in the police. Another fun note about this that I might as well throw in here. DeRay McKesson, if you recall that name.
City police, you're under arrest. Don't fight me. Don't fight me. Don't fight me.
DeRay McKesson is live on Periscope when he captures his own arrest.
He got rather famous as being kind of like the face of Black Lives Matter, even though Black Lives Matter shouldn't have had a face. It should have been, as it was, a protest movement of millions of people, and at least thousands of them were at the forefront of it. So why interview one guy and say he speaks for everyone or anything? I'm not saying he necessarily said that, but media said that. But he went on to be, in my view, kind of a sellout. I know that his Twitter and maybe his other large social media presence, like, were covered in ads. Basically, he was cashing in on the fame that he had gotten from Black Lives Matter. There's many other things that have been said about him. I don't know whether they're true or not. That aside, I'm still on his side in this court case because he organized this rally and someone at the rally, and everyone agrees it was not him, threw a rock at a cop. Now they're trying to sue him for millions because he organized the rally, which should definitely be illegal. I mean, you organize a rally. Honestly, like, it also basically makes it so that if you were to have a sporting event, I mean, why does it have to be a protest rally? If you had a sporting event and someone beats up another guy, then that's on you. That's on the person that organized the sports event. It's just idiocy.